and a warm welcome along to today's United Kingdom Talk. My name's Christopher Reardon. Now, it's Mum that calls me Christopher. Not many people call me Christopher. I'm going to let you call me Christopher. Okay? Because it's 8 years since I lost Mum, and it's 8 years since someone called me Christopher. And I think we need it to bring it back in. I have to say, I always remember ringing one of those call centres. You know, the foreign call centres, eh? I think this one was in India. And it was to do with the mobile phone that I had must be about 6 or 7 years ago now. And I said, what's the name on the account, please? And I was like, Chris Reardon. I'm sorry, that's not the name on there. Try again, sir. Chris Reardon. And they did have a foreign voice. Chris Reardon. Something like that, you know. Nope, that's not the name on there. Have you got the password? So I gave him the password. Now, you see, you thought I was going to give you the password then, didn't you? No. You'll be straight into that account, won't you? Trying to take my money away. You're not having it. You're not having it. What a cheek, dear. It's Chris Reardon. No, that's not the name on the account. I said, I don't know what. Is it Christopher? That's right, sir. Now, you see, that's one of the problems with these damn foreign call centres. They can't work out in their small, tiny mind. Well, maybe they've been told to do that by the stupid companies concerned. If you were in England, okay, or the United Kingdom, and I said to you, Chris Reardon, and the name on the account was Christopher, they'd know. But they don't know. They don't know. And that's why I just feel that these we've talked on this before, these foreign call centres don't work, dear. Anyway, I hope you're well. I'm shocked and horrified this morning to find talking of mobile phones, this links quite nicely together, doesn't it? Talking of mobile phones, I've had a very high mobile phone bill this morning. £89, dear. 89. Normally, it's about 34. And if you're in the UK, I'm going to tell you how this happened, because I don't want you to make the same mistake. What was it? Was it 89? Oh, hang on a minute. No, it was actually about 84 pounds instead of 30. Shocking and horrifying. And do you know where most of that came from? The extra. At some point, and I think it's actually Wayne the butler, because a few weeks ago, he said to me he had a new phone number. It's a personal number, and it starts 0700. Now, apparently, the idea of one of these numbers is that that's the only number that you give out to everyone. And he does something on his phone to either route the call coming in to wherever he is. So before he goes out, say he's going up his mum's house, right? So he picks up his phone, dials a few numbers or pushes a few buttons, and then any calls that come through to him on this 0700 number are diverted to wherever he is in the world. Very clever. Very clever indeed. But my God, does the caller pay for it, dear? There was a 15-minute call that I made to him, and I remember saying in this phone call, is this one of those personal 070? And he says, oh, I'm not sure, dear. Well, he didn't use the term. Well, he did use the term dear, actually. He speaks a bit like me as well. A lot posher. I'm afraid I'm not posh, am I? Now, do I try to be for the show? No, not at all. No, not at all. No point in putting a voice on because you couldn't keep it up, dear. You know. So he says, no, I don't know. I said, well, how much is this costing? He said, I think it's a local rate. I said, I don't think it is. He said, well, I think it is. I said, I don't think it is. We didn't have a row on it. I mean, it was just pointing out that I didn't think it was, and he does think that it's a local call number. So we're chatting away. Put the phone down. I says, I'll ring you on the mobile in future. I'm not going to use this number because I'm not sure about it. He says, okay. Because on my... where is my phone? I thought it was in here, actually. Oh, there it is. My phone, I'm with Orange. I've been with Orange for many years. Hang on, I don't want to reveal. Listen, I've got a lovely phone, little Samsung. There's a picture of my... I was just going to hold it up to the camera, but you can't really see it properly. There's a picture of my mum and me on the front there. And as I say, it's with Orange. and I get 1,200. I've got quite a good tariff. I get 500 texts. Can't say that word. Texts. I get 500 texts a month. And I get 1,200 minutes of phone calls to any number, any normal telephone number, like a mobile. And I get unlimited phone calls to landlines. So that's quite a good tariff. But anything other than that can be quite expensive. So I got the bill this morning and it says £84. I thought, that's a bit high. And I thought maybe I've been sending a couple of little video messages or photo messages to people, because I do sometimes do that. And when you do that, like to send a photo message is 25 pence a time, which isn't too bad if you send 10 or something. But if you keep... what I tend to do is take a photograph and I think, oh, that looks nice. And then I'll send it to 20 people, which is probably the worst thing you can do. Why don't you just wait till you get home, load it onto the computer and send it to everyone by email free of charge? Oh no, got to do it there and then. Well, you pay for that. You pay for the, what's the word? For the convenience, don't you? Sitting there pushing your buttons while you're there at work. I know. There's probably a few. Dare I say this? But there are actually people, and some people are going to be shocked and horrified by this. There are actually people who are possibly listening or watching this show at the moment and texting someone. How rude are you? Put that mobile phone down now. What a cheek, dear. I demand your full attention. I'm not one of these programmes that's on in the background, dear. You have to sit down and watch it. This is not breakfast radio or anything like that, where you've got those, a boy and a girl cackling away throughout the whole show about things that aren't funny at all. This, and it's on in the corner of the kitchen or the living room, dear. This show demands your full attention. Now, if you don't mind, put down your mobile phone immediately and stop texting people while I'm doing my patter. Isn't it a liberty, dear? I sit here, working my finger to the bone, and you're sitting there texting your friends while I'm chatting. It is a liberty. Anyway, back to the story. So, where was I now? Oh, yes. So, 0700 numbers. I looked down my list of calls, and there's a 15-minute call on there to this 0700 number, which I'm assuming was Wayne. I have to check with him later on. £16 for the one phone call, dear. I mean, the whole joke of it is, of course, that it would be cheaper for me to sit here and ring my cousins in Australia. Can you have £16? That's $32 for one 16-minute phone call. So my advice to anyone watching or listening to this show, don't use 0700 numbers ever. It's almost as expensive, it seems, or it might be as expensive, I'm not quite sure, as those premium rate numbers that you ring in to vote for the X Factor and all that business, £1.50 a blooming minute. I've never done it. I've never, ever picked up the phone and spent £1.50 to vote for someone. Absolutely not. You must be mad. Picking up the phone. I mean, it's all right. If it's a local call, then it might be worth it. But I've always said, how do you know that your phone isn't being counted? Years ago, we had a programme here called Opportunity Knocks with Hughie Green. It was great. Where it had all these, it was like a talent show. Opportunity knocks. Da 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 da. Do you remember the tune? You do, don't you? And that one used to be a vote thing, but you would write in. You'd put it on a postcard. You send a postcard and you'd write the person's winner thing. Now that, in all honesty, would be a fairly cheap thing to do. Send a postcard. I don't know, what's that, 32 pence? It's a hell of a lot cheaper than dialing the phone number. And that, I would not pay £1.50 to vote for anyone, I tell you. I think you're mugs. I absolutely think you're mugs paying £1.50 to vote. But the lesson there is, do not use 0700 numbers. It costs an arm and a leg. And if you have to, If you have to ring someone with an 0700 number, as soon as you get through, ask them what their landline number is, or even their mobile number, because it's cheaper to ring a mobile than it is this 0700 number. Ask them what their preferably the landline. Ask them what their landline number is, then put the phone down and ring them back on that. £16 for a 15-minute call. And if you're thinking that was at peak time, no, it wasn't, dear. That was 9:10 at night. 9:10 at night. 15 minutes. 16 quid or whatever it was. 16 minutes for 15 quid. Watch that, okay? If you're in the UK, do not ring those 0700 numbers. I'm sure whatever country you're in, you've got a similar thing there. They're called personal numbers. What a blooming rip-off. Absolute rip-off, dear. Anyway, that's me talking about rip-off. Now, at the moment, I have, I don't know if I told you, I've got my brand new computer. Just a minute. Let me just... We're not actually using it yet, but at the moment I am, I think the word is configuring. Okay, configuring. So if you don't mind, I've just got to do something here. 1 second. And push a button there. Because what I'm doing is loading everything from my old computer onto the new one. And this takes some time. Now, fortunately, there we go, push that. There we go. Fortunately, the new computer is not replacing something that's broken. I am kind of upgrading as the old computer is about 6 years old. The old computer that I'm actually recording the audio. So I just coughing the audio part of the show. So that's what that's replacing. Now, because it's not broken, the beauty is that I'm able to do it all a bit at a time. So I haven't got to worry about getting everything on there as quickly as possible. So each day I come into this studio and I do a little bit more, and eventually it'll all be on there. Otherwise, I mean, you can spend a couple of days, can't you, taking everything off the old one onto the new one. Especially, you see, on the old computer, if you know about computers, you're supposed to set everything out neatly in files and things like that. And but the old computer is not like that. All my data, music, photographs, it's all over the place. I mean, it really is all over the place. So it's a matter of finding out what you want to put on the old one. Also, a very good time, of course, to clear out all the old rubbish that you've been hanging on to. Oh, I'll deal with that later. Put it in that folder. You know, clear all that out that you don't want. All the old photos that you don't really look at, to be honest. I bet your computer's loaded with photos and music that you never listen to. Well, when you go over to a new one, ideal opportunity to clear that up and clear it out. And indeed, that's what I've been doing as well. On the new computer, what I'm doing is putting all my data in one folder and then splitting up that folder into subcategories, so that in future, when I want to back everything up, all I've got to do is copy that folder and paste it onto an external hard drive. Now, you might be, throughout the show today, because that new computer's doing a lot of work, now and again, you might hear a fan suddenly switch on and off, and it only lasts a couple of seconds. It goes, like that it goes. How does it go? Let's do it together. That could be an that blah, blah, blah. Here we go. That could be a new noise, couldn't it? Ooh, I like that one. We actually had an email from someone who likes noises. Let me see. Where's the email from the noise person? Someone is loving the noises. Let me find it. It's here somewhere. Let me try again. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, where is it now? Is it? No, it's not there. I had it here a minute ago. I wasn't going to talk about noise. It just came into my head, and I know there's an email here. Oh, I can't find it now. How inconvenient, dear. Matty, Doug, and everyone's here today. All our regulars have written in today. Thank you so much, my darlings. Here we are. Now, I haven't got a name on this, so I don't know who it is. It's someone who watched the show on YouTube. Blah, blah, blah. And it says, love the noises, Chris. They make me smile every time. That's what I try and do. Make you smile now and again. It doesn't always work. You can't make people smile, can you? Some people, it doesn't matter what you say to them, they look as miserable as sin. Take Gordon Brown, for example. Don't he look miserable? He's worrying about his money, dear. Stop worrying. You're lucky to be alive, dear. Worry, miserable as sin. He's like that miserable git in the post office just down the road here. I've told you about him before, the bald man with the glasses. Miserable as sin. Sometimes it doesn't look up. It's just like this. So you've got the window in front of you there, and you put your bit of paper through, or letter, or money, or something out, and it's like that. And he's looking down. He's like looking down, right down. Yes. Oh, car tax, please. He doesn't even look up. He's got this bit of paper in front of him. I don't know what he's doing. Probably reading porn. I bet he looks the sort that would read porn while he's at work. Of course, you can't see what's going on there because he's got this bit of paper under his desk there. I dread to think what's going on under there. But yes, and he puts this bit of paper through that. You put your item through that little bit of glass at the bottom, and he just takes it from you. He doesn't look up, and he carries on, and he gets that that stamp. He fills in a couple of bits with his pen, filling in bits, and he gets the stamp. And hands it back to you like that. And his eyes don't lift. His eyes don't come up. Miserable as sin, dear. Please don't be like that. And there are other people who I'm sure you try and be friendly and jokey with, and they just don't want to know, do they? There's a particular lad, actually, who comes in blouses. And he's from Honolulu, actually. And when he's in there, and I'll say something, and he just doesn't get me. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't get me. And it doesn't matter what I say, he looks up, completely bemused. When everyone else around him is fun. I don't think, over the years, I suppose I've only come across a handful of people like that. It doesn't matter what I do. You look at their faces and you're thinking they just don't get this, do they? Do you know anyone like that? Huh? Very, very strange. Here's an email address to the show. As always, it's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I've got to tell you, I was listening to Ross P's podcast. I think it was the last week one. Now Ross P... Ross Pats Out Radio Show. Okay, that's his website address. Ross Pats Out Radio Show. I think that's right anyway, isn't it? I can never remember. Have I got it written down here? I haven't got it. Yeah, but if you type in Ross Pats Out Radio Show into Google, you'll see various sites. Unfortunately, his old sites are on there as well, but you should find it there. And he does a weekly podcast show. Now, his show was, until recently, carried by other internet radio stations, as indeed this one did. But he felt he enjoys doing it. But the fact that it goes on radio stations means, I suppose, if you want to push the boundaries out a bit further, or mention, say, radio station names and things like that, you can't really do it. I'm quite happy doing my show like this. Sticking within those boundaries, I don't have a problem with that. Ross did. No disrespect to his decision or anything like that, but he decided he didn't want to be at all restricted by anything. So now he's come off those internet radio stations, and it's very kind of them to have been playing out his show. And is now only doing the show by podcast. Now, of course, this also, one of the restrictions is the time limit. Okay, this show is exactly 57 minutes long in audio. The video side of it is a little bit longer. The audio show is always exactly 57 minutes long. Sorry, I've got a bit of phlegm coming up today, and I keep having to hit the button so that you can't hear me coughing. Well, I'm not coughing, just clear, doing the throat clearing thing. A cough is a a throat clearing thing is a and a nose clearing thing is a and I'm only doing so every time I move across the hand, every time you it goes a little bit silent. I'm going and not or what? Or I might be ing, mightn't I? Ooh, what's that? Okay, what's this? Ooh. Any ideas? You weren't paying attention at the beginning of the show, were you? That's the fan on the new computer speeding up and slowing down. I told you to put that mobile phone down and stop texting people while I'm doing my patter. Cheek of it. Anyway, back to Ross. So he's decided to just do podcast as well. One of the restrictions is the time factor. Each of my shows has to be exactly 57 minutes long, audio-wise. You may have noticed that on the podcast. And believe me, you really can set your watch to that. If you hit that watch the moment the beginning of the show starts and stop it right at the very end, remember, only the audio, not the video, because that tends to be just a little bit longer because of the films at the beginning and the end. It will always come to exactly 57 minutes long. You'll be amazed. Choose any of the shows over the last year or so, 57 minutes exactly. Well, of course, Ross doesn't have to stick to that now. And I think the first show he did back on podcast only was nearly 2 hours long. God knows how on earth anyone could listen to him for that long. Ross Patzelt Radio Show. I'll look it up for you. Just a minute. Let me. Oh, I can do it on my new computer. Hang on a minute. Where are we? There we are. Is that it there? Yep. 1 second. I'll do it on my new computer then, because I don't like to do things on the computer that's recording the sound, because quite often you'll find that can throw it out a bit. Mind you, that is doing quite a lot at the moment. What's going on here? Oh, there we are. Right. What did I say it was? 1 minute. Ross Patzelt Radio Show.co.uk. Is that what I said? I just want to double check that for you, because I hate giving out the wrong address to places. Was nothing coming? Nothing. Oh, there you are. Nothing. Look, well, you're not over there, are you? I'm looking over there then. Oh no, that's not there. Oh, hang on. No, I must have given out the wrong address then. Did I spell it wrong? Ah, there we are. That could be it. That could be it. 1 second. There we are. Yes. www. 1 minute. Because you've got to have a look at this. Oh, here we are. Is that it here? Oh, I really ought to have a list of people's things. That's easy. Oh, that's easy enough. www.rosspatzelt.co.uk, and that will direct you straight to his radio show, right? www.rosspatzelt.co.uk. All right, and there you'll find his first show is like in 2 parts, because he went on and on, dear. He's got Joe from AmericanTalkUSA.com having a bit of a conversation. This will be a show that says Monday the 9th of February. So it's probably been one since this programme was created. All right, and bits and pieces there. Now, he is unrestricted there, so I don't know about the swearing. There might be swearing on it, so be warned, okay? I like to tell you, you know this particular show is a clean family program. Ross's show, on the other hand, is totally unrestricted. I don't know if he's going to swear on there or anything like that. I'm sorry. He has turned to the dark side, hasn't he, boys and girls? Ross Patzelt has left the angels and all the people dressed in white flowing flowers and white flowing robes and wings, and Ross Patzelt has turned to the dark side. He has. I completely understand, though. He didn't like the restrictions, so he's gone on a podcast-only thing, which is fine. I think that's fine. I think most people actually listen or watch my show via podcast than on little radio stations. But it's always very nice wherever. Doesn't matter however anyone watches or listens. It's always very nice to have you there. Okay, what's the time? We better go to the emails now. I did have another story. I've got so many stories here that have been building up over the weeks. Hundreds and hundreds of stories, including a bit of a medical problem I had the other night. Oh, yes, dear. I had a bit of a medical problem. Oh, shall I tell you now? No. I'll save it for the next one. There you are. I'm hooking you in again, aren't I? I'm hooking you in. Now, I have to tell you, I've already told that story on the live radio show that I do on Wednesday nights somewhere else, okay? So I can't, I'm not going to tell you again now. Now, podcast listeners, if you want to know about the live radio show, then stay right until the end of the show after I've said goodbye. Okay, and then I'll come back again and tell you how to find that, because it's always nice, and you can phone in, and you can use Skype, and you can use emails, and it's all live, so that's brilliant. The governor there, his name's Tommy, at this particular station, is very pleased with the show, and he's now asked me to go to 2 hours. So I'm quite pleased about that, because sometimes, quite often you're doing something. And if it's you doing it and you're trying to criticise yourself, that's very hard. I think one tends to be very hard on oneself. Now, I know Ross does this. He's really hard on himself when he rings me up and says he's worries about the quality and all that. And you don't really need to, except for that Skype call I think you had with Stephen Andrews on your last podcast. That was a little bit hard to listen to, because it was cracking up. I actually think it was your end, Ross, because he sounded fine. It was when you were talking, so I don't know what was going on there. Do try and spend a bit of money on equipment, Ross, dear. If you're going to be professional, you'll need more than that free microphone that came with your computer, dear. You will. That little thing on the plastic, the long plastic microphone you got with your computer. Is that what you're using, lovey? Hello to Wayne M. Wayne M, regular viewer. And now, Wayne, you need to become a regular correspondent to the show. No, you're not. You've only sent about 3 letters, 3 little notes since you started. You need to become a regular correspondent. You want to be up there with the likes of Suko and Joe Morris and Susan and all the others, and Carmel, Matty in Australia. You need to be a regular correspondent, Wayne. And he was mentioning about when I sung Born Free. He says, good God, Chris, that high note, I've still got my fingers in my ears. Have you finished yet? Which was the high note? Oh, it must have been at the end, wasn't it? 'Cause you're born free, live free, and life is worth living. We're free as a rolling tide, and there's no need to hide. And then it goes, and then it changes key. Live free. Is that the one you mean? Just 'cause you can't sing, Wayne. No need to be jealous now, dear. Some of us can, some of us can't. I'm not quite sure which category I fall into, but I do my best, and you just criticise, dear. You criticise. Oh, it's like listening to you is like being on Fit Lads. It really is. Wayne says, I'm no doctor, but hearing you sing, I think the problem is high balls. Pardon? What? You're talking about the mirror ball behind me. Do you think it should be lower? I don't see how that affects my singing. Great show as always from Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. Oh dear. Shall I tell about my medical problem? No, I won't. No, I'll leave it to the next show. Unless we have a bit of time at the beginning. Now, as an answer to your email, Wayne, my little friend Lisa, hello Lisa, who listens via Live 365. She says, Chris, you are wonderful. Do you know what, Lisa? I think I am. Marvellous and wonderful. Even if I'm not, I do my best. Loved the solo Born Free sing-along. Oh. And she says, I wanted to change my name to Elsa when I was a little girl and had first seen the film. Yeah, see, Elsa was the name of one of the lions. I loved that movie and corresponding TV show that followed here in the US as well. Was there a series? Born Free the series? I must make a note of that. I wonder if I can get that on DVD. That must be quite old now, if there is a series. Oh, Lisa, I recently bought some normal DVDs. I now have Dallas series 1 through to 10. Yeah, so we're doing a special offer on season 7, 8, 9 and 10, which I didn't have. So, and there were, I think, £12 per set. So I now have Dallas seasons 1 through to 10. We should have a Dallas party here in Royal Berkshire, where we can invite all Dallas fans round and just constantly watch episodes of Dallas. I do have a lovely hat from Southfork that Susan, our cat lover, sent to me last year, but it's not on the wall at the moment because, as I said to you in the last couple of shows, I've started moving stuff out of the studios ready for the decorating. Now, we're not sure when the decorating's happening. Could be next week, could be next month, could be in the next 6 months. But I want to be ready so that I haven't got to move everything out, you see? Lisa says, I was so mad when they discontinued the TV series. Oh, so there must have been a TV series then. Well, I have the book, by the way. Do you have it too? No, don't have the Born Free book. I was singing with you. What fun. Hope you had a happy 46th birthday. Don't have too much fun. I never have too much fun, Lisa. The only fun I have is when I'm sitting here talking to you, my darling. It's true. People say, what do you do for enjoyment? I say, I sit in my room 3 times a week and talk to my friends. And that's it. There we are. It's the only pleasure I get. And then when the show finishes, you're all gone again. And there's no one. Not even the cat's allowed in the house anymore because of the asthma. There's a clue. Okay, there's a clue. Medical thing. Medical, what did I say it was? Medical condition? I think that's what I said. Okay? Anyway, I'll come to that later. Hello to Chris Willis, who also does a podcast, and it's very good, actually. Give him a listen. I'm going to give you the address in a minute, if I can remember it. Oh, God. I can't remember these things. Hang on, let's look this one up as well. After I've read the... I'll read the email first. And Chris says, the yellow shirt the other Saturday, Chris, that you wore on the video, was a no-goer. You clashed with the white Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk address that comes on the screen. Yeah, you're probably right. What was I wearing on that show you watched then to comment? I must have been a blue one. Now, Chris also does a podcast called The Rant. Now, The Rant. This is turning into an advert for other people's podcasts today, isn't it, dear? It's a liberty, that's what it is. Now, where are we? Let's just check I've got that right. Oh, it's all running a bit slow. I noticed my internet has been running a bit slow the last couple of days. Let's see if we can find this now. Or maybe I've got it written down somewhere here. Oh, 1 minute. Jason, who I used to work with a few years ago, says that I'm not very organised when I do the show. I mean, what a cheek, dear. He does... there it is, that's it. All right, I'll give you this address. This is quite good. Boy's name is Chris Willis, and he's recently started doing podcasts, talk podcasts. I'm not sure if he plays music as well. But you can find that at www.the... Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. Has he got his... Yes. The-rant, okay? The-rant.co.uk. Once again, the-rant, rant.co.uk. And we actually reviewed his show on the live show that I do. Once again, podcasters, those of you listening this on podcast, hang around to the end of the show and I'll tell you where to find the live show. And it'd be great to have you join in. Now, this guy, he's got a little summary over there, which I'm reading. God knows how I can see that screen from here, but I will. Hi, my name is Chris Willis. Welcome to my podcast. Each week, I present a 1-hour chat show and talk to you about all the goings on in my life, discuss the topics in the news, if they don't bore me to tears, and have a good old rant about life in general. He says, the reason I got inspired to do this podcast is because I love to talk and I love to entertain. I have a very dry sense of humour and always try and make light of the worst situations that I've come across. During my years on this planet, people have wooed me with their ability to entertain, and he goes on and gives a list of names, of which mine is not there. How dare he? How dare he reel off this list of names and not put my one on there? It's a bit much, isn't it, eh? Anyway, he's done, let's see, you can download my podcast and it tells you where to get it and what have you. He says he's from Folkestone in Kent, which is kind of down the southeast of England. Lovely place, Kent, actually. Very lots of fields and trees and grass. I like it there. He says, over the years, I've been involved in several internet radio stations, presenting shows, managing them as well. You will find an exclusive podcast created just for you, the podcast listeners. A little bit about me. Born in Kent, he's a keen sports fan, supporter of Charlton Athletic football. My music tastes range from Queen to Rihanna, so he's got a very wide range of music. Right? Do give him a listen as well. And if you do send him an email, tell him how you found him. Tell him I heard your show mentioned on Chris Reardon's United Kingdom Talk. That's why I'm giving you a listen and give him a comment. All right. Once again, the address for that one is the dash rant, the dash rant, RANT. .co.uk, the www.the-rant.co.uk, and give him a little listen there. All right, Chris, there you go. Hi to David and Kat on the Isle of Wight, who sent me a nice little happy birthday message. And you keep disappearing, you two, isn't it straight? You keep disappearing, dears. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, David and Kat? Pleasure to know you two. All right. Hi to Roger. He says, great hat you were wearing the other time. Oh, that a bit. Oh, I know. You're looking at my Facebook hat, aren't you? Have I still got that photo on there? I think I have, because it was snowing here. You may remember last week, and I had a woolly hat on, and there was no. He said, there's no strap, just a pullover woolly hat. No bobble either, incidentally. Just in case you think I'm starting to wear bobble hats. No bobble hats. Great hat. I was looking for the chin straps. There's no chin straps, dear. This makes a great going out picture. Hope all is well. And that's from Roger. Thank you, Roger. I'm glad you like my little hat. You can see that's on my Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, you want to join in. It's Chris Reardon London. Chris Reardon London. Talking of Facebook, I have Twitter as well now. Now, I'll be honest, I'm only on there because a lot of people seem to be going on there. But in all honesty, it looks just like a very poor version of Facebook to me, doesn't it you? I mean, Doug has written in about this as well. Let me just get to Doug's email. See, I do have all the emails in front of me, but they're not necessarily... They are in the order that I think I'm going to do them. But as you know, it never works out like that on this show. You know, it's all bits and pieces, and we throw it together at the last minute. There's another email here from Chris Willis that I meant to ring out, actually. Come on, Doug, where are you, mate? I know... Oh, you're right at the bottom of the pile here. There it is, Doug. As I say, I think Twitter seems to be like a bit of a poor relation to Facebook. With Facebook, that's the site, you've got all the pictures and everything about everyone. Twitter just seems to be like... I don't know, like an internet text service or almost. There's not an awful lot on there, and I'm actually not quite seeing the point of it all. Anyway, Doug's written in here. Oh, my Twitter name is Chris Reardon UK. Don't know if I'm going to continue using that one, but you see, there's so many people seem to be going on it. I thought I'd better. I'm not usually a sheep, but if you don't follow them, you get left behind. That's a problem. Hi, Chris. Doug says in Akeley, USA, not Canada. Twitter is great because besides just posting things, you can chat with your followers in almost real time. But you've got to start following people so you can see what they're doing. I just leave Twitter open in a tab on Firefox. Then every now and then I'll open the tab clip on home to update and see what the people I'm following are doing and if there's anything I want to reply to, or if any of my followers have posted a reply to me. I just don't get it. I'm not quite sure with this one. Joy in Acton's wondering what the hell I know, Joy, you're wondering what the hell I'm going on about. Right, well, Facebook is this internet site. So it comes up on the computer screen in front of you. You can put pictures of yourself on there, when you were born, and you can keep updating it. There's a bit at the top that tells everyone what you're doing. And anyone logging on can see what you're doing. It's got pictures and you can put videos on there. This show is advertised on there. Every time a new show comes out, it goes on there, as well as my DJ mixes and everything else I do. The Twitter is similar, but without any of the photographs or much profile or any other information. It's just like, this is what it's like sending a text message on a mobile phone to lots of people at the same time. And I'm not quite sure of the point of it. I'm really not. It's all right to advertise your stuff, but someone's got to be looking you up to be able to see it in the first place. I don't really get it. Not keen on Twitter at all. A lot of people... there's this guy who I work with on that other radio station who does a gadget show, The Gadget Detective. His name's Fevsy. And he loves it. It sounds like he loves it. He's always putting messages and things. I just don't get it. Guys, I can't see the point of it myself. So thanks for that, Doug. Nice to hear from you. Now, who's this? It's Carmel. Hello, Carmel. All right, darling. Now, she did send this in a couple of weeks ago. Help, she says. I'm having some problems watching your show. Well, have I read this out already, Carmel? Oh, dear. I'm not repeating myself, am I? I hope not. She says, every time I'm watching my show, my 14-year-old son, Oliver, seems to walk in. And for the last 6 to 8 weeks, he keeps saying, Mum, every time I'm in here, you're watching that man. You, as in me. She says, and I'm like, yeah, so it's a chat show and I find him interesting. He says, you fancy him? She says, no, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. I'm laughing so much. He's getting annoyed with me. Her little son is serious. Nothing against you, Chris. Love you loads, but hey-ho, that's life. My husband has seen your show many times, as I usually listen to the shows on a Sunday morning and still watching the tail end when they come home from rugby around lunchtime. Oh, I used to play rugby at school, yes. I went to the London Oratory School, Carmel, which I'm sure you've heard of. I used to be fullback when I was at school. So this Sunday, my husband jumps on the bandwagon as he walks in and says, do you fancy him or something? They've obviously been having a good old chat between themselves. So now I'm going to watch the show in peace late at night when I'm tucked up in bed on my own. My husband works away, so no more flipping jeering from them. Does anyone else watch the show while they're in bed on one of those little well, you can watch it. What are they called? Are they MP4 players? Isn't it? Is that the video one? Does anyone who watches the show on one of those little gadgets or a mobile phone? Does anyone watch the show on a mobile phone? And can you watch it on an iPhone? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I haven't got I've got MP3 player, but I wouldn't have the time to sit there and watch one of those. Aren't they marvellous? Those little gadgets, Joy. These little gadgets. They're like they're about the size of a large, I suppose, 2 cigarette boxes. And people, I don't know if you've seen one, Joy. You can actually download entire TV shows on these things, including this one, and you just watch it. Isn't it marvellous what you can do now? I wouldn't have the time to sit there watching such things, unfortunately. She says, by the way, you were talking about chip fat last week, and only the day before this happened to me. Because I told you about that chip fire I had when I was married. That'd be 1982 this happened. Or was it 1983? I can't remember. Well, whatever. She says, I got the electric chip fan out and put it on top of the cooker as the cooker hood is above, as I have done hundreds of times before. Waited for it to heat up. As we all know, very bad news to put chips in cold oil. Yeah, because they soak up all the oil, aren't they? And you just end up getting a mouthful of oil. Vile. Isn't it vile? This time I was using frozen chips, as I've done so hundreds of times before. But when I dropped the tray slowly into the oil, I noticed that it was bubbling a bit too much. Well, more than normal. Well, within a couple of minutes, the whole thing started boiling over. Can you imagine boiling fat? Got the dog out first, then the kids. Only joking, she said. You can always rely on a dog. You really can. You see, that's the beauty of going out with someone who's a bit of a dog, isn't it? They're never going to leave you. Eh? Which is why I can't understand why I can't find anyone. I mean, I've been barking for years. I am a bit of a dog, and you would have thought someone had picked me up by now, thinking that I wouldn't leave them. Wouldn't you? I don't understand it. And I'm fed up with these people saying, I'm fed up. There's someone for everyone. And Joy's another one. Joy in Acton. She is old. Joy has seen it all, dear. She's in her 80s. And she says every year, Chris, this is going to be your year. Why do you do it, Joy? Why do you lie to me? Blatant lies, dear. Carmel goes on to say, the only thing I could do was switch it off from the plug socket. Thank God I could reach it without getting burnt by the boiling fat. My God, that's just so dangerous, Carmel. Joking aside, isn't it, eh? Boiling fat going everywhere. And I just had to watch it boil over. It was everywhere. As I had it on top of the hob that had a ridge around it 1 inch that kept a lot of oil there. Well, you were lucky there, my love. Thank God I wasn't using a gas top one. It was either the element just overheating or the ice from the chips, I don't know. But do warn your viewers what can happen, all right? So be careful with that, my darlings. I don't have one of those in the house. After we had the chip pan fire, as I say, when I was alive, I vowed I would never, ever have one of those in the house again because they go wrong. I mean, it could be. I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, it must have been a nightmare clearing up all that oil, girl. That chip fat oil. Oh, God, what did you do? Put down. I mean, I mean, you would have got through rolls of paper, wouldn't you? I think what I would have done is gone upstairs and got a couple of towels once it had cooled down a bit and just slung them on because they're very good at absorbing stuff, aren't they? Towels. That's a good word, isn't it? Absorbing. Go on, shall we say it together? 1, 2, 3. Absorbing. You didn't do it, did you? Do it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Absorbing. What a good word. Try and throw that into a few sentences tomorrow, okay? I am absorbing Chris Reardon's United Kingdom talk. That sounds quite good, doesn't it? She says, goodbye, love you loads. Quick, better go. Ollie, her husband's just... Oh, is it Ollie? Hang on. Is it Ollie the little boy or Ollie the husband? Can't remember. I think that must be the little boy. Oh, quickly, turn me off. Quickly. Oh, that's funny. A little boy thinks she fancies me. Thank you, Carmel. She's up north in Lincolnshire, quite near my sister, actually. Relatively new viewer and becoming... You are becoming, Carmel, a regular correspondent. Did you have a nice birthday, by the way, girl, last week? I do hope you did. I did sing you happy birthday and you didn't write in to say thank you. Very disappointed about that, dear. Where's the thank you letter? What a cheek, dear. She didn't say thank you. Onwards. It's Millie. Millie from Minnesota. Remember she was on a couple of shows ago. She's the lady who's disabled in a wheelchair. She was telling me she likes to run over people's feet. It's shocking, it is. I actually got 2 emails here from Millie from Minnesota. Where's the other one? Oh, we're all over the place today, aren't we? Never mind. We can't always be professional. Here we are, Millie. And let me read them in order. Here's the first one. Millie says, the haircut you've got now looks great. Well, I think it might need to be cut again, Millie. I don't know. Might need another cut soon. The haircut looks great. I'd keep that style for a bit if I were you. I'm so glad you're finally feeling better and have got some of your sparkle back. Oh, hang on. Hang on a minute. I can do... Hang on. I'm going to be very clever. Those of you watching the show, I hope this works all right. It might just throw the entire thing out, mightn't it? But we've got to try this. Let me see if I can do sparkle. If you're watching the show, okay, here comes sparkle. Look above my head. I've got sparkle back. The sparkle is back. Sparkle, sparkle. Have we got other things? Let's try this one. Oh, yeah, we got snow. Oh, it's all lovely. I've got sparkle now, Millie. Can you see it? Oh, stop being mad, dear. Hang on. Oh, how do I turn it off now? I can't stop it now. Oh, hang on. There we are. Done. Right, there we are. A little bit of sparkle back. She says, as I know only too well, it can be very wearing when one is ill. Yeah, especially when it goes on and on. Give Katie a stroke for me and I'll send one of my extra special one-of-a-kind Millie cuddles for you. And one for Joy when you speak to her again. She also said the two things I want to do in this email. One is to clarify something, which I neglected to do when you interviewed me. Oh, it wasn't an interview, Millie. It was just two friends chatting away, dear. As you remember, I told you my cousin's children will not go near me unless they're prompted to do so. And that every time I go to give one of them a hug, they go running the other way because they're frightened. They're frightened because Millie's in a wheelchair. That's strange how children are, really. Very hurtful, really, for the person who's in the wheelchair. Very hurtful. But that's how children are, isn't it? Sometimes they can be hurtful without realising it. What I forgot to say was that I do not blame the children in any way. I place the blame for their reactions squarely on the shoulders of their parents. That is why I was so adamant that parents should at least allow their children to ask questions if they see someone with a disability. I don't want one more child to grow up feeling that disabled people are to be feared. It's funny, isn't it? The fear of the unknown. There are many conditions, I think, that people can get in the world. And a lot of people are fearful of people with these certain conditions without actually knowing anything about them. Do you remember years ago, those of you who are old enough to remember, when cancer wasn't as prevalent as it is now? People were frightened to talk to people with cancer in case they caught it. In case they caught it. Weren't they? And there are all sorts of diseases now and things in the world, more than there were when I was at school. And people have these things and they can't actually pass them on, or they can only be passed on in certain ways. And I think it's that people just don't know, or sometimes they don't believe the medical person. And that's always hard. And if the adults don't know, that you can't catch, something, hepatitis, there's one. If adults don't know you can't catch hepatitis by talking to someone or shaking their hand or talking to them in the street, then how are the children going to believe that? And there are just a lot of conditions in the world that you can't catch easily just by talking to someone, shaking their hand, sharing a knife and a fork or things like that. And it's similar to that, really, isn't it? I bet You know, I bet some of those children who won't come over to you, Millie, think they can actually catch disabled. I know that sounds funny, but, you know, I wonder if they do. Millie says, the second thing I wanted to do was thank you. I can hear you asking what on earth for. A couple of things. The first is taking the time whenever you can to have a quick chat with me via Skype. Well, I'm not on Skype much anymore, Millie, to be honest. What happened was every time I started it up, I'd be at work or I'm always in front of the computer doing something. Once a Skype comes up and all the messages come in, and it's hard to get on with what you're doing. And I feel rude that I can't give the person on the Skype the attention. So I'm rarely on that anymore. All right, my darling? It means such a lot when you talk to me, and I appreciate it. Yeah, usually when I come in very late at night, I sort of fire it up and see if there's anyone around to say goodnight to and have a little kiss on the cheek, don't we, Millie? Mwah! A little kiss for you, my darling. Second thing is to thank you for giving me the opportunity. The third thing is to thank you for giving me the opportunity to educate people about what my life is like in a wheelchair and to dispel some of the misconceptions about disabled people. Well, I mean, one of the misconceptions I had was that they run over people's feet in restaurants, Millie. And you did that, didn't you, my love? When that bloke didn't go out of the way. She switched into forward gear and run over his foot in the restaurant. Good on you, girl. Thank you for allowing me to use your show as a means to do that. Anytime you want to have me on again, just say the word. And thank you, Millie. Lovely to hear from you, my darling. And I think we're out of time now. Yes, we are indeed. Okay, lots of emails here still waiting to be done. We'll do a few more on the next show. Apologies, as always, if you're waiting a little bit too long for them to come up. The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So what was my medical condition about a week and a half ago? I'll tell you on the next show. For myself, Chris Reardon, thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye now.